Welcome to Facts Factor 5. Today we have 5 sports stars who died tragically.
It is so sad. They were all so young and talented.
If you like the content, please subscribe and hit the like button.
Enjoy the show.
Number 5.
Ernie Davis.
Ernie Davis was an American college football player. He was born in New Salem, Pennsylvania on December 14, 1939.
Tragically, Ernie's father was killed in an accident shortly after he was born. Because of this, Ernie lived with his maternal grandparents until the age of 12. He then moved back in with his mother and stepfather in Elmira, New York.
He attended high school at Elmira Free Academy and earned 2 All-American honors playing football.
Ernie was recruited by numerous colleges but chose to attend Syracuse because Hall of Fame Jim Brown attended Syracuse. Ernie wore number 44, which was the same number as Jim Brown wore.
Ernie played college football for 3 seasons, from 1959 to 1961. As a sophomore, Ernie led the Syracuse team to a national title with a perfect 11 wins and no losses and a win in the Cotton Bowl.
Ernie was named the Cotton Bowl's most valuable player.
Ernie became the first black athlete to be awarded the Heisman Trophy. He also won the Walter Camp Memorial Trophy in 1961, which is awarded to the collegiate back of the year.
Ernie was selected as the number 1 pick in the 1962 NFL Draft by the Washington Redskins but was traded to the Cleveland Browns.
Ernie signed a 3-year $200,000 contract. At the time, the contract was the most lucrative ever for a rookie.
Sadly, Ernie was diagnosed with leukemia and never played a meaningful down in the NFL. Ernie Davis died on May 18, 1963. He was 23.
Number 4.
Len Bias.
Len Bias was a college basketball player. He attended Northwestern High School in Hyattsville, Maryland, and after graduating, attended the University of Maryland.
As a freshman, Len was a raw and undisciplined player, but it was obvious he had enormous talent.
In his junior year, Len led the ACC as scoring and was the ACC Player of the Year.
In his senior year, Len won his second ACC Player of the Year and was named to 2 All-America teams.
Len impressed basketball fans with his amazing leaping ability, his physical stature and his ability to create plays, and was considered one of the most dynamic players in the nation. By his senior year, scouts from various National Basketball Association teams viewed Len as the most complete forward in the class of 1986.
On Tuesday, June 17, Len was selected by the Boston Celtics as the 2nd overall pick in the 1986 NBA Draft.
On Wednesday, June 18, Len flew to Boston for an NBA club draft acceptance and product endorsement signing ceremony. Len had discussions with Reebok's sports marketing division regarding a 5-year endorsement package worth $1.6 million.
After returning home to Maryland, Len partied with some teammates and a member of the football team. For the next 3 to 4 hours, Len repeatedly insufflated cocaine in the dormitory suite shared by him and his teammates.
2 days after the 1986 NBA Draft, Len Bias was dead of a cocaine overdose.
He was 22.
Number 3.
Salvador Sanchez.
Sanchez started his professional career at the age of 16 as a bantamweight.
His first fight of note came in his 19th professional fight against the Mexican bantamweight champion Antonio Becerra. The fight was close but ended in a split decision win for Becerra.
As Salvador impressively won match after match, he decided to move up to the featherweight division. Soon he had beaten people like the Puerto Rican featherweight champion Felix Trinidad and soon afterwards earned a title shot at world champion Danny Little Red Lopez.
The overconfident and rarely beaten Danny Lopez was defeated by Salvador, who knocked out the defending champion in 13 rounds on February 2, 1980.
Salvador went on to amass a career record of 44 wins, 1 loss and 1 tie.
Salvador was the WBC featherweight champion from 1980 to 1982.
As Salvador was training for another title defense, his Porsche 928 veered out of control at a high rate of speed and crashed into a truck.
Salvador Sanchez died instantly on August 12, 1982. He was 23.
Number 2.
Steve McNair.
Steve McNair was born in a small tin-roofed house in Mount Olive, Mississippi on February 14, 1973.
At Mount Olive High School, Steve played football, baseball, basketball and was outstanding running track. As a junior, Steve led the Mount Olive Pirates to the state football championship.
Steve was initially offered a full scholarship to the University of Florida to play running back, but since he wanted to play quarterback, Steve chose Alcorn State University. Alcorn State is a historically black university which competes in Division I AA.
In his senior season, Steve gained 6,281 combined yards, along with 56 touchdowns. In the process, he surpassed more than a dozen records and was named an All-American.
Also in his senior season, Steve won the Walter Payton Award as the top 1AA player and finished third in the Heisman Trophy voting. Steve was the third player taken in the 1995 draft by the Houston Oilers. The first 2 seasons were a learning experience as the backup quarterback.
Steve became the starter for the 1997 season. In 1999, Steve led the Tennessee Titans to the Super Bowl where they narrowly missed a win on the game's final play.
Steve had a 13-year NFL career and he was selected to the Pro Bowl 3 times.
Over the course of his career, Steve played for the Houston Oilers, which became the Tennessee Titans, and the Baltimore Ravens. Steve retired at the end of the 2007 season.
On July 4, 2009, only 2 years after his retirement, Steve McNair was shot to death in a murder-suicide by his mistress, Sahel Kazemi, as he slept on a sofa.
He was 36.
Number 1.
Roberto Clemente.
Roberto was born in Barrio San Antón, Carolina, Puerto Rico, which is in the vicinity of San Juan. He was the youngest of 7 children. During his childhood, his father worked as a foreman in the fields.
Roberto was a track and field star and Olympic hopeful before deciding to turn his full attention to baseball.
Roberto's professional baseball career began when he was 18 in the Puerto Rican Professional Baseball League. During his time in the league, the Brooklyn Dodgers offered him a contract with one of the team's minor league organizations.
Roberto wasn't in the minor leagues long, as he made his major league debut in 1955 at the age of 21 for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Roberto would play for the Pirates his entire 17-year career.
During his career, Roberto would help the Pirates win the World Series twice, in 1960 and 1971.
Roberto was named the MVP of the 1971 World Series.
Roberto was a 15-time All-Star and was awarded the National League MVP in 1966.
Roberto was also a 12-time Gold Glove Award winner and the National League's batting champion 4 times.
Roberto spent much of his time during the off-season involved in charity work. When Managua, the capital city of Nicaragua, was affected by a massive earthquake on December 23, 1972, Roberto immediately set to work arranging emergency relief flights. He soon learned that the aid packages on previous flights never reached victims of the quake due to corrupt officials.
Roberto decided to accompany the next relief flight, hoping that his presence would ensure that the aid would be delivered to the survivors. Roberto chartered a Douglas DC-7 cargo plane.
The plane he chartered had a history of mechanical problems and an insufficient number of flight personnel. Also, the airplane was overloaded by 4,200 pounds. Roberto Clemente died when the overloaded DC-7 crashed into the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Puerto Rico immediately after takeoff on December 31, 1972.
He was 38.
Thanks for watching.